Hi, welcome to today's session of a random talking. Today's topic is my relationship with studies. So I have had a on and off relationship with studies. Um, I'll go in order wise, okay? Like from first standard till 10th standard, then PU, then um, engineering, then I did my MBA. Okay, I kind of forgot only what I did. So yeah, I'll go in order. So LKG. LKG, I was it was near my house. It's a school near my house, around 700, 800 meters. So I had to carry my own bag, as obviously I have to carry my own bag, my water bottle. So bag had what, slate and chalk. That's it. And tiny purple bag I had. Tiny shoes, tiny clothes, everything is as every student has now. So back in the day, we didn't have books, we had slate. So I used to go with the slate. And my teacher, I was the class leader, so I had immense power. I had the scale and I'll be like threatening children, sit down in your place. I think I did a good job there. Then we had annual day thing where I'm a Barbie girl, that song. We had a dance partner. So yeah, that's vaguely I remember about that. So LKG I did there. Then they were like, she kind of knows things for UKG. Let's promote her to first standard. So I gave my test for first standard and I kind of cleared it. But my dad had ideas to put me in another school, so I gave an entrance there. So that's F4 school. So I went and joined F4 school Yelahanka. So I started with F4 school, not a full-fledged Kendriya Vidyalaya kid. So till third I was there. So first standard, I joined in there, and first day of school was very horrific because everybody's speaking in Hindi, and child only knows English and Kannada. Kannada also I recently, like in LKG, I picked up, not LKG, I think when I was 4 years old, I started, my neighbors, back when I was with my granny, they used to speak Kannada. So I used to speak Kannada. Then when LKG, we started writing Kannada. So I kind of knew written Kannada a little bit. Here suddenly I was in foreign territory where the basic language of communication was Hindi. I was like, after the end of the day, I realized when you need water, you gotta ask for pani. Water is pani. That's my first word. Okay, first word in Hindi I picked up was pani. So then I came back home. I kind of lightly told my dad, what if, can we come back to the old school? Like, things not working out for me there well, because and then there was a horrific teacher. Okay, she was, I don't know, she didn't have that personal time to pay attention to. The only problem I had was I couldn't write in a 4 lines book. I had only practiced on slate, right? So straight away I go to first standard, they're all writing in 4 lines book, and they're writing, cursive handwriting. And I was a month or something late to class. So pretty much, she lost her patience with me, and she used to put me on the floor. Like straight from the 6 months, I'm sitting on the floor, like permanent. It's my permanent location. And the thing is, no other kids are punished or put on the floor. I was the only child. And that group is there, no? Like a group of us are sitting on the floor. It's fun. At least one more person to share the, pain and shamefulness would have been nice. But no. So I just sit alone and, write. 6 months like that. And then my mom kind of picked up, okay, she does not write cursive handwriting. That's the problem. And she kind of started teaching me at home. Second standard, I came like, I was a good student, okay, like I don't know how well I was, but I was pretty decent. And third standard, we had a different teacher. So during handover at second standard, my first standard and second standard, the same teacher was my class teacher. So when they say class teacher in first and second standard, they teach all subjects, right? So she was there and she's like, I'm sorry, I was going through a lot on the personal front. So I think I've shown a lot of anger towards you. It was all for your betterment. I was like 6 months putting on the floor, betterment. Okay, fine. And she had complained to my parents that I don't talk. So after you beat a child, and I'm in that instant crying, I don't think I'm talking, so I didn't talk to her much. And first thing she would ask anything was in Hindi, which was again a problem because it is Hindi. And then by the time she started, so she used to speak my mother tongue, Malayalam. So by the time she asked in Malayalam, I was in that, very deep crying zone. So I couldn't respond to her properly. So she was very unhappy with my response. So she used to give that as a, challenge to my parents. Like, she doesn't talk at all. So I was that kid who used to never talk in class, according to her. So from LKG being the class leader with full power, I went into, so that's the, change. First standard were like full bad. Second standard, I'm like catching up. Third standard, I was, one evil came into life. That's the TV, okay. We had a black and white TV, okay. Some small black and white TV. We got the Aiwa big color TV. That was it. 21 inches, I think. 21 inches. And even till 2 years ago, it was the same TV, which was the best thing. Aiwa was the best thing, like things ran forever. And Aiwa TV, and you will not believe me, I was so addicted to watching TV. Like, parents are going to work, both are gone, and they come off, my mom is coming around 5:36 in the evening. Dad is also coming like, 7. Full time, no, 3 o'clock, I think 1:40, till 1:40 we had school. So by 2:40 I'm home. So 2:40 till 7 o'clock I had time, and I had to sleep at night there was a rule that I sleep by 8:15, okay. Till 3rd standard I was sleeping at 8:15, and from 4th standard it was 8:30, and 6th standard onwards it was 9, I think, 9 o'clock. So yeah, I used to get up early, so waking up was 5 o'clock, so 8:15, 9 is a decent time to sleep for me. And today's kids are not sleeping enough is one thing I feel very strongly. They kind of, hopping around with the adults, and they need 9 to 10 hours of sleep. Let them sleep. Force them to sleep. I mean, I didn't enjoy going to bed, but the thing was, the minute I was in bed, within 2 minutes I'm off. There's no more Cheryl. You call me, you pin me down, nothing. So yeah, even now I'm an early sleeper, early riser kind of a thing. Yeah, kind of used to that now. Yeah, but okay, so let's continue. So 3rd standard, the evil called TV came, and that, my report card came with all D and almost E and all is like fail. So basically there, only A, B, C was the standard thing that those days, D is like almost like, that grace marks they keep pass kar diya, and E is like gone. Okay, so I'm like only C was my best, okay. That 3rd standard report card, C is my best. D, E and all that. My dad looked at it. He came to school and he asked, like, where does she stand in the class and all that. And teacher was like almost, he came 5, 10, 15. He kept bridging, and then last teacher was like, she's in the last 5 kind of a thing she gave. Came home. He was like, what is that which is stopping you from studying? And then I was like, this TV is the one which is doing everything. You have to cut the cable. I was like, cut the cable, okay. Dad said, in the world there's so much evil. Today, if you can't control watching cable TV, how do you expect yourself to stop yourself? See, my mother is like, it's a pound kuttiyan and all that. Pop, don't hit her. Beating was not a major problem, okay. So he had a military stick, and 1 or 2 beatings only will fall. And it was not, it was scary, but it was not painful. It was not pain. Pain was not the thing. The problem was this fear of getting, that beating. The thing was, he's not used to give also beatings like that. He'll only do that, and that's more scarier than, actually getting the beating. So yeah, beating, he I know he can give a nice whacking, but it was all regulated, He never hit, till today, he's never hit me with his hand. No hand usage. It's always been the military stick. So the sound of the military stick is something I'm very attuned to, okay. So the taking, it's got a specific space where it's kept. It's called military stick because he got it when he was leaving the military. So that's mainly used to, navigate on maps. It's got a steel upper part and a black rod on the bottom part. It's around, let's say, 2.5, 3 foot height, okay. It's like so much. 2.5, 3 foot height. And, that sound I was very attuned to that sound. And that was the thing, he used to give beatings. 3rd standard after beating, and I told TV is the main reason and all. My dad was like, so many evil is there, you'll have to learn to control how you do it. Then after 3rd standard, I got admission in Kendriya Vidyalaya. We were trying for an admission in Kendriya Vidyalaya from when I was in 1st standard. So 3 years I gave continuously exam. Finally in 4th I got in. And then that's where, students stopped talking to me and all that bullying episode happened. That's another whole topic called random talking, bullying and all that. That's, if you want to know the background story of that story, you can go there. So 4th standard, I went in there, and monkeys used to attack the school. And when they used to come, they used to always take food from my bag, and they used to come to my class. They were attached to my bag, okay. And yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, I thought I was taking boring food, but the monkeys loved it for some odd reason. And they used to every day like take only my food from my bag perfectly. It's like noted. So yeah, Teacher gave me money like twice to eat food. So around 4 or 5 times the monkey took the tiffin box from my, bag. Once it lost, so it takes the tiffin box and it ran over to the, what is it, terrace kind of a thing. There's no terrace. It's open on the top. So it was sitting there and eating, and it threw the dabba down, but it kept the lid with itself, or threw it on top, of what it did, God alone knows. So like that, I only had one part of that tiffin box when I came home that day. And food also, the teacher had given me money, like she was like, go eat in the canteen. Canteen was like, less price, used to get decent khana mil jata tha. So used to eat from there. So that's 4th standard, 5th standard. After all the bullying session, I was like, I don't want to go anymore. So in 6th standard, I took a transfer. I moved to KV RWF. Now I was like very sure we have to make a lot of friends, because one friend talking to one friend, and if that friend stops talking, then my world used to collapse. So it's like we have to talk to everyone, be good to nice to everyone. And I knew it was difficult to penetrate, because when I moved from 3rd to the new school also, it was difficult to find new friends. So it's like anybody is coming newly, that's my hope. So there was a girl who came in newly, so I was like, we became good friends. But the problem was she left after a year. But anyways, I was like talking to everyone, and one thing I was like, I will never join any gang, because I've had enough with the gang people avoiding me and all that. So I was like, own superpower, talk to everyone, no matter who. If possible, help them. If not possible, don't. Simple. That was my logic. And even now, I believe as much as possible, I try not to be a part of any gang, because then you have to follow gang rules. If the gang is not talking to a particular person, you have to avoid that person whether you like them or not, like illogical reasoning. So I think it's very important that we have the right to pick and think through our own this one. I mean, it might not work well on a team zone, good, but I feel that's the right thing to do. Ask your conscience if that person is right, wrong. There might be, see, everybody's not going to be good in everybody's story. Simple. I might be good in some people's story, bad in some people's story. So absolutely fine. So yeah, 5th standard, 6th standard, I moved to this new school. I was like, now properly talk to everyone, study well. These were the only 2 targets I had: study well, be in good books. Because previous school, the Hindi teacher kind of pierced, turned my ear, and she's like the worst student I've seen. So she gave me that tag in secondary school. It's like, here I was like, thank God, new school, new place and all that. And then I started studying good. 7th standard, I got a 3rd rank. I was like, oh my God, that is my first, okay, I do study kind of realization. Then along with all that, in 7th standard, I started my keyboard classes. So keyboard classes was Monday, Wednesday and Friday. 3 days in a week keyboard class. 7th standard, I also started the church choir. So that's like Saturdays. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 days in a week, I'm going to keyboard class, which is in Matikere. So the whole evening is gone like that. By the time I come back home, it's almost like past my sleeping time. Not past my sleep, almost my sleeping time. So I eat dinner and I sleep kind of a thing. So there's no studies on these 3 days. Then Saturday is like church again, evening. That day also no studies. Sunday, my dad had a rule that you should not study or do anything. Okay, so Sunday was, even if he finds me studying, he'll take the stick to beat me. That was the, anti-national policy we had. So that way, Sundays there were no studies. So 5 days in a week, there's no studies, okay. The only days that is there is Tuesday and Thursday to study. So 2 days in a week I have to study and pass 7th standard, 8th standard, even 9th I think I quit keyboard, but yeah, church was there. So 3 years I had to just pass things by studying on 2 days. So evenings also, if I'm studying, it's like I had 4 hours of handwriting, 2 hours of handwriting to write. So by the time I started studying, it'll be 6 o'clock, 6 to 7, and that's all. 6 to 7, 1 hour is what I used to get in a day. Because 7 to 7:30 is prayer, 7:30 to 8 is dinner, 8:15, 9 o'clock is sleeping time. So another 45 minutes I had this. So homework, whatever I want, I can write in 45 minutes. So I used to be so comfortable, I used to write homework in the bus also. No time management is a big deal here. And early morning. So I became a morning studying person, because all the days evening is kind of occupied. So morning when I get up at 5, by 5:30, all the basics are done, and 6 to 7 in the morning was like my peak studying hours. Whether it's unit test or exam or anything, that is like the most precious time where I could full-fledged sit and revise, tuck, revise or study, that used to straight away go into my head. It was like that was the time I used to study. So I was a morning studying person. Evening also I could study, but then time ledu. So that way, 7th standard happened. 8th standard also pretty decent studying. Along with that, I became a stage person. That's when I realized I loved standing on the stage, talking, expressing myself. Talking was my favorite thing. So from first standard being a not at all talking kid, 4th standard, 5th standard being bullied, not able to talk, to 7th standard studying and proving myself, to 8th standard becoming, a talker on stage. How scared I was to talk for the first time on stage is a totally different thing. But then from there, I kind of, built myself. 8th, 9th, 10th was, I can say, I started gaining confidence. Basically, I can do things. So at home, my dad was like, so my mom was a teacher when I was in 8th in my school. So it's like, because you're teacher's kid, they're giving you marks. When it goes for external evaluation in 10th, you will not have any marks. So my marks was pretty decent, okay, somewhere in the 80s, always 80s range. So it's like, okay, 7. My mom was like, she's a 70%. My mom has clearly given me a certificate. She's a 70% kid, okay. And anytime my dad's, so when in 4th standard, we had a marks card discussion, okay. So my dad is like, he saw my marks card, not great. So like from 3rd standard, it was better. But then he looks at the mark, and then he's like, okay, this is 4th standard, okay, we're rewinding, I kind of missed out the thing. So he was like, okay, we'll have a meeting and we'll discuss. Okay, I was like, meeting? And then he's like, when is the meeting? I asked. He's like, Sunday. And I had shown this on Tuesday. I was like, I have to give the report card back on like Saturday or something. He's like, no, Sunday only this. You tell something to the teacher and give it on Monday. I was like, now I have to avoid the teacher. So he was like, okay, Sunday is the now. From the problem is not, getting the report card or the scoldings or anything, beating also. He sees those marks and he has no comments to make. And he's like, till Sunday I have to wait. Now from, Monday or Tuesday, that 6 days I have to make no other mistakes. Like sleeping on time, waking up on time, doing all my routine works on time, not watching excess TV, taking shower on time without getting shouted at, not raising my voice or opposing for anything in the house. Those 6 days are full stress, okay? Like anything goes wrong, then I know it's getting out when the marks card is being discussed. So when he says meeting, so I used to have meetings starting from 4th standard. So my house like operate on a corporate level, okay? So it used to be like this meeting chaired by Joseph. So he used to keep, and my mom had to attend, and meeting used to go on for 3-4 hours. Oh my God. And yeah, so the discussion topics would be like subjects and, routine. Where am I falling short? What is, how much bad is the TV? So I used to always, like 4th also I told, cut the cable off. My dad's like, no, cable and all, no matter which exam is coming, which tsunami is coming, it will never be cut. I cannot tell the world just because you're studying 4th standard have to cut cable. What will people think? And he was like, in that case, so many things I will have to cut in future. So no way. Whatever is going on will go on. If you want, you study. And he was like, I don't have great expectations from you. Make sure you pass was the thing. And he was like, so he looked at my report card. Everyone's like C, D and all that. So he circled C. So in Hindi, let's say in Hindi, I got a D. So it's like this D, next time test. So unit test, no? So we had some 2-3 unit tests. So first unit test is over and he has to sign. So he's like, this D has to become C. Where there was C, he said it has to be B plus. Where it was B, he said it has to be A. Okay, beyond that I didn't have. It was always in the B, C and D. A and all was very rare. Okay, so his expectations, target setting. So most parents, they just look at the this one, they beat their children and then they tell, I want all A's or all B's. But I was seriously this one. He's like, this subject you're getting D. From here we expect you to get C or D. D plus. So the expectations were pretty decent. So next test I kind of got 2 A's and 4 B's and C's and all that combination. So things were going good. So then 4th and yeah, so meetings used to happen regularly to find out how studies going. Sanskrit was a painful subject for me because I couldn't pick that up. Yeah, and in 8th standard we had to choose between Hindi and Sanskrit in KV. So I picked Hindi and I was like, yeah, Tata to Sanskrit. I scored well. It was not a matter of scoring, but I felt I couldn't communicate like I was communicating and telling a story in Hindi. I couldn't do that in Sanskrit. That was the communication bit that I suffered with. So then, yeah, during my midterm exams, there was a cousin's birthday. And that's so Monday is the exam, Sunday is the birthday celebration. My dad's like, you have to come, no matter what, you have to come. I'm like, why do I have to come? You people go. I am only telling you people go, because if Sanskrit is first subject, I am definitely not in the zone. I'm like, I have to study else I'm gone. So I'm like, you people go, I have to study. That's like, you have 365 days in a year to study. Why do you want to study in the last minute? Logic, okay. Other days, no, you study. Every day you study. Exam comes, you write what you have studied. I was like, all this logic and all is great, but for me, it's like a tragedy. If I don't study today, I might just really go. So he had this logic, no matter what comes, like if there's a function or a family gathering, you have to come. There's no excuse or missing it. That was one of the things. And you exam and all will keep happening. That's just side dish. I was like, studies is very important for me. Okay. From him, he was like, I'll keep going on. And studies became serious only after my 10th standard results came. So even before the results, he was like, there's, Mount Carmel College there and also Chitrakala Parishad. So he was like, you can do painting and all. They'll teach you advanced techniques of how to paint. And the 1 year course there is, I think that back in the time, he told me it's around 80,000 rupees for 1 year in Chitrakala Parishad. And the fee for my PU class that time was 25 or 30,000 rupees in Mount Carmel is best. I said like 30,000 rupees. And he's like, though it's more, I'm asking you, if you're interested, we can go for it. And I was like, from my Mount Carmel college also, you have to go another, 3 kilometers to this place. And back in 10th, I was like, I have to become scientist, APJ Abdul Kalam type mindset. I was like, I'm built for studies kind of a thing, concentration focus level I had. So I was like, no, what are you talking? Are you serious or not? I'm taking science. I'm going for PU. This is it. I'm taking science and I'm going studying. Commerce was not my choice at all at any point because it's bad with, numbers. So turning the page. I didn't like a lot of maths, turning pages, flipping and then doing that was not my deal at all. Arts, 2 things. So I had only 2 things in mind, either arts or science. So science was very strongly there. Arts, he told me Chitrakala. So I was like, no, I am going for science. So I was the one. So when my marks came in 10th, it was like, my dad was like, you really study. I didn't know you study. That was his realization point, and he threw a huge party for my 10th standard marks. It was 89.4 is what I scored. So my report card was very simple. Okay, like we have 5 subjects, all 100 marks. 389, 3 subjects I got 89, 2 subjects I got 90. Okay, so it's like, did they even correct my paper or they just chumma put some marks there? It was like a replica, like 89, 90, 89, 90, 89. So it's like 89, 90, 89, 90, 89. I was like, wow, beautiful. It's like just said there. So 89.4. God is like, Cheryl, you have to work little more to get 90, to get into that niche category of 90. So I, scraped that also. Like, God is like, no, you're not yet studying so much where you get that. But okay, you get 89.4 kind of a thing. So it's like, yeah. So that was like, huge party in the house and huge hype happened. And then I joined Mount Carmel. Mount Carmel, I joined for PCME. I was very sure I'm not doing medicine because too much sympathy, empathy waves and all through me. So PU study there. First PU was very tough. 60s or 70s, 67 or something. I was my percentage. Then second PU, that's like, I want physics 100, chemistry 100, maths 100. Rest, English, Hindi, you can manage whatever you want, you can manage. These 3 subjects, because for the common entrance test to get into an engineering, seat, those marks are required. So it was my choice only that I'll do engineering, not his. So that also I wanted to do electronics. Then in between somewhere, I felt computer science, but yeah. So then physics and maths, and then I used to go for tuitions. So after college, straight used to go to tuition, sit down till 8 there. So morning I used to go to college at 7. Evening by tuition finishes and all and come back home. It's like 8:30 in the evening. So morning 7 to 8:30 is like done. 12-13 hours is done. Then after coming back at 8:30, you eat another 1.5 hour homework or whatever is there I used to do. Sleep off. Morning again I used to wake up by 5. 4:30 my dad used to wake me up. For some reason he wanted me to study 1/2 an hour extra. He's like, this extra is what makes the difference. Like, what extra is making the difference? So he used to wake me up at 4:30, like, Cyril, and he'll also sit down. It's not that he's going and sleeping. He'll sit down, he'll watch me study, and even in the night till I finish studying, he'll sit down and watch and wait till I finish studying. I'm like, oh. And in the bus, we used to travel with me till my college. So his workplace was after that. So he used to also go by the BMTC bus. So I'm sitting, he's sitting, BMTC bus. So he wants me to sit in the men's side so that he can see me and talk to me, that half an hour. Since he was talking too much, I was like, morning I learned formulas in the bus. And he used to hate me reading in the bus. He's like, your eyesight will go bad. You should not read in the bus. And then I said, marks will come up. No, little bit. 1 year if you study, eyes won't go, I told. And then I started. So I used to do, revise the formulas, max formulas. I had one whole 100 pages thin small book, okay, just to go through all the max formulas. That was quite helpful because every day I used to see those formulas. It kind of, I had a picto, I don't know. Back in the day, I could picturize it. I couldn't picturize. So whatever I see on a paper, it kind of gets into my head like in a pictorial form. So I can remember the page and that line just like that. So yeah, picture framed mind. But I was very bad in memorizing. By hearting was a very tough thing to do. So I had to do that that is tough. So formulas and all every day, because I kind of did my max well. So second PU results came and my dad's like 100. That didn't happen. So physics I got 92, chemistry was 87, max was 95, electronics was 92, English Hindi around 83, 84 or something I got. So that totally aggregated to an 88.5, and on PCM it was 90.6%. So it's like finally PCM, physics, chemistry, max, I made it to 90.6. So it's like, wow, big achievement. And max, that was the first time I got like a 95. I was like, whoa. Yeah, there was one sum I made a mistake. The minute I came out, I realized it. It was all a huge story. Then I did my engineering. After that, all that, COMED entrance test, COMED K. Oh, I wrote so many entrance tests. My dad's like, this is the only chance you get at this age, only you can write, no other time. The only focus we had was CET, okay. Common entrance is for Karnataka students. So after that, he made me write COMED K. He made me write AIEEE, IIT, JEE, ISAT, some exam and all. Today he'd be like, he'll look at the calendar, he's like, oh, today exams there, come, let's go. It was like that. I was only preparing for CET, and he also told, only prepare for CET. And he was like, ISAT is there, come, we'll go. So it used to be like a morning thing, it's written on the calendar. He's like, come, let's go. Today AIEEE is there. And then he takes me to the venue, and everybody is like fully cramming and studying and all. I'm like, I don't even know which book. I'm like just there for fun's sake. And my dad's like, Sharon, Kench K Rock. I'm like, everybody who's studying there so hard, their parents not bother or encouraging them and motivating them. He's like, Kench K Rock, first aana hai humko. First time I do even realize I'm not even studying for this exam. So then I used to go and write all this. IIT, some exam, I don't even know how the questions looked so, like, I don't know what it is. And they were like negative marking also, barely answered. Like, if there were 70 questions, I answered like some minimum required questions to be answered that much. And I got a better rank than somebody who actually studied for the exam and, got because she thought it was right answer and she's doing it. Mine was like, I don't know only which is the answer. I, completed the exam in first 45 minutes. I finished the exam. Then I was like, for 2 hours I have to sleep. They told you can't leave the hall till the exam is over. So I was like, I have 3 hours time. So I slept through the remaining 2 hours. And they used to come and wake me up in between thinking, I was out of exhaustion. I was sleeping. I was like, no, I'm done with the paper. They understood this is some gone case only. So AIEEE, IIT, all different places, okay. Like one was in Mysore Road, SJBIT, that college. One more was in that MBJ college. So much, it's pretty far from my place, all these colleges. So I was like, travel, go, like, right, come back. So CET, my rank was 6,217. COMED K also we tried, okay. The COMED K is like for other state people who want to, come into Karnataka engineering. That also, my rank was like exactly half, 3,106 or something, 106. And I got the same college, say, different courses, but in the same college. So I was like, okay, we'll take it in CET only. Why pay extra? So I took a computer science seat in BE, in Sir MVIT. 4 years I finished there, got placed in Accenture, got placed in Accenture and Computer Science Corporation, CSC. So I joined CSC I left CSC, then I joined Accenture and I left Accenture. Then in between I wrote PGCET just for the sake of writing, because first my plan was, work for 2 years and then decide, MS or MBA or whatever. In the meantime, my mother's like, since you don't know what, chumma go write, one PGCET is there, you go write and see, it's an MBA entrance. So I told MTech and all I'm not doing. I'm done with engineering. When I did, the thing was I liked programming part. And one thing my dad said was like, 4 years of engineering, you're not going to get on stage. First point, no stage activities, no hanging out with friends, no mobile phone. Mobile phone part was the toughest, okay. Hanging with friends also, I was like fine, because house studies was like too hectic. And I used to go for tuitions in engineering also, because trust me, I used to find it, I found it tough. So programming I liked, I used to pick it up on my own. But other subjects and all is pretty boring for me after a point. So I was like, no. And so yeah, engineering tuitions used to happen, college tuition, assignments, record work, and all that used to keep me busy. And no stage was a rule. So I was like, okay, no stage. So you finish college, you come home. That was the whole thing. Tuition, come home, eat, sleep. That was the only zone that was there. And it was too stressful because, textbooks were so huge. And you don't know what you got to study, and portions. By the time you figure out what is portions, only semester is ending. I'm like, okay, we didn't have semester. Yeah, it was in a whole year. So 6 months. Yeah, we had semesters. So 8 semesters. Say, look at me, I don't even remember that much. 8 semesters, so 6 months each semester. The whole way I struggled. Apart from, first 3 semester was good. 4, 5, 6, 7, I have 6, 7, 8. No clue how it went. It just happened. 7th sem we were placed, 6th sem, I think 6th sem end or something only we were placed. So 7th and 8th sem was like, classes never happened, but yeah. That's a different thing. But college was very, accommodating to what we wanted to learn on an extra curricular form, or even if we wanted to do internships. But unfortunately, back then I didn't have an idea. I didn't do anything. So engineering finished. And then with the PGCET, I simply wrote on a Sunday after the church, after mass. I was late for the exam, and then the examiner in the hall for the PGCET exam, post-graduation common entrance test is PGCET. She was like, you people nowadays, youngsters, are not serious about life and all that. She gave me that whole thing because I was late to, the exam. So I was like, yeah, ma'am. Then I told her, see, I'm not writing this seriously. Next year is when I'm going to think, next year, after 2 years is when I'm going to seriously think whether, to do MS or MBA. She's like, you people are wasting your parents' money. I said, 560 rupees for this exam. My dad said he has no parking, so I have to finish the exam fast and go. Please give me the paper. And I had a single pen, okay? I didn't have a pen also. That also I borrowed from my mom in the car. She luckily had a pen in her purse. So she gave me the pen. She's like, what kind of student you are? Going for an exam without even a pen. And that's the least prepared I've ever gone for exam, because I'm very prepared, okay? Like, I'll have a pouch full of things, this, all extra pencil, extra scale, everything extra. So it's like one pen I took and I went, and I was like 15 minutes late, and she gave me that whole lecture. And trust me, nobody in the room copied from me, because they knew I'm like this, entertainment candidate. So I wrote all this, and then I started working. I was not bothered what results and all. My friends who had written entrance for MTech, so there was MBA and MTech entrance was around the same day or same time. So they were like, they kind of got the results and all. They were like, you also check, your MBA results. I was like, who is bothered? I'm not thinking of it seriously. They kept asking, pestering me to, check. So I was like, after when I come back, I'm not at all interested in seeing where that, roll number is and all that. Finally, I opened the website. I took the roll number and I wrote, and all. I'm like 21. I told my mom, I think I got a 21st rank. And like, mom was like, somewhere there'll be a K written. K is like 1,000. So like, K will be written, you see properly. I was like, no. I looked at people on top, I'm like 10,400. I'm like down 11,200. I'm like, mine is only 121. And around 20-25,000 people had written the exam. I'm like, did I really get a 21st rank? And I'm like, oh, okay, I got a 21st rank. Then my dad's like, okay, now I am in Bangalore and all. We're like, then my dad's like, oh, we then figured out which are the colleges. Okay, till then we don't know which are the colleges which is coming under PGCET for MBA. Then in that, PS was the number 1 college. And so I joined PS. So PS was there, Ramya was there. Ramya is like super close for me, 10 kilometers. PS is like super far for me, 25 kilometers. And when I say 25 kilometers, it's in thick traffic for me, like KR Market, Town Hall, Corporation, all those places. And Hebbal Fiber obviously is any day. any day traffic. So Ramya was a very easy choice, but then I was like, being even getting one college better, we have to take that. So it was PES. So 2 years in PES, and that's where, I don't know. See, from MBA, it was not planned. From MBA onwards, my studies just not planned. However, it was going, it was going. So I would say from then, destiny started its whole game, game plan. Big game plan started. So still in the plan, okay? The plan's still in motion. So 2015 is when I joined for my MBA, and 2017 I completed. In between, there was a fest that took me to Dubai. So yay! A superb, that exposure which it gave me, that fest, those set of friends which I built through that fest is, everybody had their own, niche category people. They were all, they are all even still. So yeah. And yeah, that's a whole different episode to discuss. So that was a fest, and we had a subsequent fest which we won this, I think, runner-up place from Krista Jayanti, and we won this trophy. I and another senior of mine, Mr. Vinod, we represented PES College in Dubai, and the finale was in Palm Atlantis. Awesome! It was a awesome hotel. It's a 5-star, 7-star hotel in Dubai. So it's like, okay. And it was a 6-day trip for me. It was amazing. We came back, and then from there, next set of, things happened. Work life started. And that's been my relationship with studies. And I think learning is a lifelong process. And still there are a lot of things, each day I learn from, books I read. Recently I've kind of picked up last one year onwards, I kind of got back to my reading books kind of a thing. So yeah, learning is a lifelong process. It keeps going on, and for me, somewhere, if I don't learn something or read something, this one, it kind of feel very bad. Maybe I don't know, it's just that feel good factor comes when I kind of learn or read something. So kind of like it, read books, it's good. Pick whatever you like, and books keep our imagination open. So that's a great window out to the world, whether fiction, reality, escaping the reality, self-help books, whatever. My core, this one is mostly into self-help books and those kind of things. Fiction, I used to like all these detective stories, Nancy Drew kind of things. So yeah, keep the studies on, and it's been great. So after my PU, my dad was like not much focused on, asking for the marks. I told him after the PU, you should never bother me about the marks. So straight from 89% in PU, I dropped to 70%, 69, 70%. My dad was like, you understood, 20% difference in your efforts is there. Because of me, you got 20. I was like, nothing like that. Engineering is tough on its own. And that's how it is. And yeah, I pretty decently passed out that. And MBA was good, decently studied. Or apart from accounts and finance kind of topics, because it was very new for me from an engineering background, it was very, very new to me. But yeah, we had amazing teachers and faculty was great. So it was good. That was my relationship with studies. Have decent relationships, and there are different techniques to study, like first alphabet you relate. So you remember how we used to learn the 9 planets. Now the planet names are changed. Sorry, I have not updated myself on that. So my very educated mother just showed me 9 planets. So Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, all that whole 9 set of things. My M, so the first letter. So that way there are a lot of things that you can do to kind of memorize, which is very useful for kids to pick up from the internet. You can pick up, learn, put it into practice on your social studies or anything. For formulas, it's good if you do it every day, you revise in max. And for tables, do it every day. I used to do tables from first standard till I was in 10th standard. Every single day I used to tell the tables from 2 Vanza till 20 Vanza. After 17 Vanza, 17 tables and all, I know it was tough, but yeah, it was very useful when it came to exams, like competitive exams and things like that, CET, Comet K. It was pretty useful to know tables like on a larger scale. So that was my bit. Have a great day. Keep yourself hydrated. Yeah, keep some immunity boosters to keep the fight on with corona, and have a beautiful day and weekend. Ta-da!